What's up, everybody? Wes Goldberg here from Locked On Heat. If you haven't checked out today's episode of Locked On Heat, it features Brendan Tobin from WQAM talking all things Miami Heat and where this season is going, what they could do over the offseason. Also, on this YouTube channel, you could check out my recent video on why the Miami Heat should pursue Jaylen Brown or could pursue Jaylen Brown this summer. But not going to talk Miami Heat right now. We're going to shift gears to the Miami Dolphins. Here's why the Miami Dolphins won't trade for Lamar Jackson. So, back up really quick. Lamar Jackson revealed on Twitter that he requested a trade from the Baltimore Ravens, but soon after that, it was reported that the Dolphins aren't interested in trading for Lamar Jackson. Do we believe them? Are they making a mistake? We're going to get into all of that here. But first thing, I'm at the point now where I just believe the Dolphins. All right, whatever you think of Tua, whatever you might think of how the Dolphins have treated him, whether or not you think Tua is a long-term answer at quarterback, whether the Dolphins can go deep into the playoffs with Tua at quarterback, it doesn't really matter, okay? Because the Dolphins believe in him. The Dolphins believe in him. So I think you could tell a lot about how a team thinks of its quarterback based on its actions, right? Now, actions speak louder than words. I think in a press conference setting, every NFL team, when asked about their quarterback, is going to say something along the lines of, blank is our quarterback, right? Tua is our quarterback. Blank is our quarterback. Jared Goff is our quarterback. Whoever it's going to be, every team says, this is our quarterback, and then 2 days later, they could turn around and trade their quarterback, all right? So when Mike McDaniel or Brian Flores or before him or Chris Greer now as the general manager, anybody says Tua is our quarterback, I don't really believe them based on that alone. I don't. But I think you could tell a lot about how a team thinks of its quarterback based on their actions. And with the Dolphins right now, their actions do say that they believe in Tua as their quarterback, whether it's bringing in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, getting Teron Armstead and other offensive line help, basically surrounding Tua with as much talent and help on offense as possible, whether it's picking up his fifth-year option, which we'll get into here in a minute, and now, most recently, publicly taking themselves out of the Lamar Jackson trade talk when they didn't have to. They did not have to do it, right? Like, within moments of Lamar Jackson tweeting that he had asked for a trade from the Ravens, we're getting reports that the Dolphins are not interested in him. Now, they're leaking that on purpose. That's just how this stuff works. It could have been easy to just not leak that, just say nothing, whatever. That's over here. We're over here doing our own thing. We're not concerned with what's going on over there with Baltimore. And then when Mike McDaniel was asked about it, Mike McDaniel could just say, hey, Tua is our quarterback. Tua is our quarterback. He could have just had that line, and then we could have just, and that would have been enough, right? It would have been enough for people to move off until maybe something else happened. But the Dolphins are so committed to showing Tua their confidence in him that would not have been enough. All right. This goes back to Mike McDaniel's first day on the job. Remember on the plane, calling Tua, hey, I'm excited to work with you, telling him he's confident in him, all these things. They know that Tua plays his best when he has the backing of the coaching staff, the front office, his teammates, and when he feels that backing and that confidence. And everything that they've done so far under Mike McDaniel with Tua is to show Tua their belief in him. Like over the top, everything that they have done has been over the top. Hey, you're our guy. Even when they've faced a ton of outside questions, the concussion stuff, this offseason with the fifth-year option. And Mike McDaniel talked about why they picked up Tua's fifth-year option. Here's that sound.
The scenario of picking up the fifth-year option gives Tua the best chance to be his best and is the best thing for the organization. That's what we're really chasing. We're chasing that where both parties maximized in opportunity. And so once we knew that, then, I hadn't really paid attention to the, fifth-year option timeline. It was more like, all right, well, you know what? Especially the media members that are in South Florida, they need to know this. We need to tell them this fifth-year option is, once we knew, we knew. So hopefully it was that way I didn't have to play unnecessary poker face for no reason. We knew. Once we did our due diligence in our process, it made a ton of sense to us. So we wanted to communicate and get that done and move forward with our lives.
And then here's the other part of it, right? The Dolphins know that they're best with Tua, or more specifically, a player making Tua's money at quarterback, all right? We've known for a long time now, NFL teams operating with a quarterback on a rookie contract are able to build around their quarterback better than teams paying, Aaron Rodgers money, or in this case, what will be Lamar Jackson money to their quarterback. It's just easier to build around a quarterback when they're making less money. That's obvious, right? So here's what Mike McDaniel told reporters at the owners' meeting about that.
It's obviously a slight advantage from a salary cap perspective because of the most obvious thing in the world that veteran quarterbacks that play very well, can approach 40% of your salary cap. So it's just something that is currently the state that if you're able to have a good team and be productive, you're able to spend extra resources other places. Is that the model? I think you can be opportunistic, yes. But the bottom line is you want the best players specifically at the quarterback position. And when you have a known entity, you'll pay what you have to pay. There's a lot of teams that are having a lot of success with quarterbacks that are on rookie contracts too. So.
Okay, so without Tua on a rookie contract, the Dolphins aren't able to bring in guys like Tyreek Hill, Teron Armstead, Jalen Ramsey, David Long Jr., Bradley Chubb, all these guys in important positions to fill out a roster that had way more holes than just quarterback when they hired McDaniel. All right, none of that stuff happens if you're paying Tua 40% of your salary cap. And if you're not going to trade for Lamar Jackson, who would give the Dolphins their long-term answer at quarterback overnight, would transform the franchise overnight, then you must really think Tua is that guy, right? It's one thing to commit to Tua when there's not any real better options, right? We know that they flirted with Tom Brady. That was before we had a year of proof of concept what this offense could look like with Tua under center. But recently, not involved in Lamar Jackson, not involved in Aaron Rodgers. Like, to not be involved in those guys, I don't know, man. You could do it. If you're the Dolphins, you could have gone out and gotten involved, but they have not. Instead, they went out and picked up Tua's fifth-year option, and they have publicly stated over and over again, and with their actions have shown over and over again that they believe in Tua being their guy. Like I said, actions speak louder than words, and everything they've done says they want Tua as their quarterback. Now, anything can happen in the next 2 years, right? More concussions, Tua could regress, whatever. But for now, the Dolphins believe that they could be their best football team with Tua at quarterback. And for now, I'm done doubting whether or not I should believe them.